diversionary tactics such as detonating a bomb to get law enforcement away from the Capitol and then try to storm it.
Before leaving the House passed the police reform bill named after George Floyd. It would ban police chokeholds, put more money into community policing efforts, and eliminate protections for certain types of lawsuits. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer.
This bill speaks to the values of America, that we cannot take lives without cause, without legal justification.
The National Safety Council says traffic deaths rose 8% during the pandemic. Many blame speed and reckless driving because there were so few cars on the roads. Last week's unemployment numbers are released today. Released next week, it's Consumer Price Index.
Experts warning of rising food prices with no end in sight to the spike. One major factor, the cost of gas on the rise after the deep freeze in Texas last month, which shut down the country's largest refineries, raising the cost of shipping goods. But the pandemic still gets much of the blame for higher prices at grocery stores thanks to supply chain issues, shopper capacity limits in stores, and more people eating at home.
ABC's Andrew Timbert. As the J&J vaccine begins going into arms here, the European Union has started a review of Russia's Sputnik V, a vaccine approved for use there several months ago. You're listening to ABC News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work. ZipRecruiter.com/work.
Over 100 missing kids in Tennessee have now been found, the result of a collaboration between state and local officials that was months in the planning during a pair of 2-week blitzes across the state. The kids were recovered by authorities. They range in age from 3 years old up to 17. Fitful progress in restoring water to all of Jackson, Mississippi. A couple of weeks after storms interrupted water to thousands, officials there say they ran into problems with the cleaning system at a water treatment plant, which cut water pressure to around 10,000 customers. The problem now fixed, and pressure is building back up again. Another contender in the streaming wars launches today.
Goodbye, CBS All Access. Hello, Paramount Plus. If you remember the 40 million commercials during the Super Bowl.
We live here now on Mount Paramount. Isn't it glorious?
The CBS streaming service is rebranding itself and adding a ton of content starting today, combining the forces of all the CBS, Viacom, Paramount properties. Think CBS, but also MTV, Comedy Central, BET, Nickelodeon, and hundreds of movies all in one place. Exclusive content, including a new version of MTV's The Real World, will also be on the app starting today. Paramount Plus will cost $5 a month with ads, $10 without. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
And another makeover for Barbie in honor of International Women's Day next week. A version of Barbie in the likeness of former First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt is being released. This is ABC News.
Hello, friend Pat Boone here. Silver is creating lots of excitement. So I called my friends at Swiss America to get the scoop on whether this silver opportunity is for real. What I discovered blew my mind. It's all covered in a new silver report from Swiss America, which explains why silver prices cannot stay at this level for very long. Call 800-289-2646, 800-289-2646. Get a free copy of the silver report now.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
You know, folks are saying once you've used a Massey Ferguson, you won't ever want another tractor. They're tough, versatile, and dependable. And now with the change of season special at NC Tractor and Farm Supply, you'll be wise to get your special deal. Our tractors have been running in families for generations. Ask about the Phil Sheehan special going on right now. NC Tractor, 299 Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton. Call 288-0395.
Good
morning and happy Thursday. Expect a beautiful day today, just like yesterday. We'll see plenty of sunshine and high temperatures today, quite warm in the upper 60s and close to 70. Clear sky, chilly tonight thanks to a cold front. We start back in the low to mid 30s Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see another mostly sunny sky. Temperatures, though, will be cooler. Highs Friday in the mid 50s, and temperatures will be staying quite chilly through the weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
Well, about all we can say when we meet our friends at the coffee shop or in the post office. Boy, this sure is nice weather, ain't it? It's going to be nice weather for sure for the next few days. As far as we can see, all the way through Wednesday, March 10th, is nothing but sunny skies, mostly warm weather at daytime and cool weather at night. Right now, we're starting out our morning at 41 degrees, warming up to 67, and we'll have wind gusts up to 23 miles per hour. So let's enjoy this weather. Now we'll have these death announcements this morning. Judith Johnston Scott, 78, passed away February 27th. A private family service will be held at St. Francis Church on Saturday, March 6th. Friends can view the service online, beginnings at 2 p.m. by visiting the website at https://www.stfrancisrutherford.org for more information. The Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangement for Judith Johnston Scott. Sarah Van Dyke Watts, 96, of Bostic, died Wednesday. A graveside service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Sunday at the Fairview Baptist Church Cemetery. Please observe social distancing, and the wearing of masks of attendees is required. Washford and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service in charge of the arrangements for Sarah Van Dyke Watts. Josh Green, Sr., aged 38, of Forest City, passed away Saturday, February 27th. The funeral service will be conducted at 7 o'clock Friday, March 5th at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service entrusted with those arrangements for Josh Green, Sr. Ray Clinton Good, age 64, of East Main Street, Forest City, died Sunday at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. A memorial service will be held at Bethany Baptist Church on Sunday, March 7th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. No formal visitation is planned. The Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory serving the family of Ray Clinton Good. Kathy Mooney Epley passed away at the age of 59 at Rutherford Regional Hospital. A visitation and memorial service will be held Saturday, March 6th at 2 o'clock at Rock Springs Baptist Church in Rutherfordton. All are welcome, and the family hopes to gather outdoors should the weather permit. Crowswater is assisting the family of Kathy Epley. Esther Taylor Baheeler, age 82, of Forest City, passed away Tuesday at Willow Ridge Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Saturday, March 6th at Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow at Eternal Hills Memorial Park. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service entrusted with those arrangements for Esther Taylor Baheeler. Lowell Bowman Bushong, age 88, of Durham and former resident of Elkins, died Sunday. Born in Ellenboro, North Carolina, and a Masonic graveside service will be held 2 o'clock Friday, March 5th at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery, with Masonic rites accorded by Forest City Masonic Lodge number 381 AF and AM. The Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements for Lowell Bowman Bushong. Carolyn Landis Waters, age 73, of Forest City, passed away Monday, March 1st at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Friday, March 5th at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service entrusted with the arrangements for Carolyn Landis Waters. Sue Brooks Fry, age 86, of Mooresboro, passed away Sunday, February 28th. Graveside service will be conducted at 3 o'clock today at Calvary Baptist Church Cemetery in Mooresboro. The family will receive friends following the service. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Sue Brooks Fry. Larry Brady Tony, 51, of Shelby, died Sunday, February the 28th. The funeral will be conducted at 2 o'clock today at Mount Harmony Baptist Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service, serving the family of Larry Brady Tony. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. Complete information on these and others can be heard this morning at 11:30, and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report.
More family leave, better health benefits, more retirement income, more job security. They want more of everything. Mr. Bezos, maybe there's a way out of this mess. How about offering your disgruntled staff at the Amazon Prime Washington Post a bigger discount at Amazon Prime Whole Foods? Maybe with a minimum purchase, of course. After all, it's only money, but you never know what can satisfy angry liberals that won't cost you very much.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/news. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Nothing goes better with your early cup of coffee than Jim Bishop in the mornings on 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
Jack McCall was born in Kentucky in 1852. As a young man, he headed out to Nebraska. Not able to settle on a name he liked, he called himself Curly Jack. Later, he used Buffalo Curly, and when he arrived in Deadwood, South Dakota in 1876, he was using the name Bill Sutherland. About a month after Jack McCall, alias Bill Sutherland, arrived in Deadwood, Wild Bill Hickok came to town. By now, Wild Bill's eyesight was so bad that the only way he could earn money was at the poker table. Early August of 1876, Wild Bill was playing poker when Jack McCall slipped behind him and put a bullet through Wild Bill's head. McCall was arrested and brought before a judge and miners' jury. Jack said he shot Wild Bill because Wild Bill had killed his brother. Since Wild Bill was a noted gunman, he said this was his only recourse. The jury liked the story, and the money McCall had used to bribe them didn't hurt either. So they found him not guilty. A free man, Jack left Deadwood and went over to Laramie, Wyoming. If he had kept his mouth shut, that would have been the end of the story. But McCall started bragging about not having a brother and making up the whole story. A deputy U.S. Marshal, not able to take McCall's rantings anymore, arrested him. It was decided that since Deadwood wasn't a legally constituted community at the time of the trial, the law didn't recognize Jack McCall's first trial. So they retried him, found him guilty, and on March 1, 1877, hanged him. Double jeopardy? Maybe today, but not in the Old West. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. This is Dakota Livesay.
Thank you very much, Dakota Livesay. It's 7:15 here on the Morning Report. Let's go to the phones now and get started. find out what's been happening overnight in the past 24 hours or so. And here is our sheriff, Chris Francis, on the radio. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, Jim. How you doing this morning?
Doing very well. I hope you're doing well.
I am. Thank you for asking.
Yes, sir. What's been going on in your department?
Jim, in the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 125 calls for service. There have been 14 arrests. Incarcerated, we have 134. Among those arrested, Bryson Weldon Alex Flynn, 19-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with 8 counts of failure to appear and received a $72,000 secured bond. Henry Dean Garrison, 68-year-old male of Mooresboro, was charged with failure to appear and received a $5,000 secured bond. Stephanie Lena Ray Waters, 32-year-old female of Rutherford, was charged with failure to appear and received a $1,000 secured bond. Eddie Eugene Towery, 49-year-old male of Lake Lure, was charged with failure to appear and received a $10,000 secured bond. Christopher Chad Wilson, 37-year-old male of Mooresboro, was charged with larceny by employee, obtaining property with false pretense ×3, and larceny of a firearm ×2, and received a $10,000 secured bond. In general, there were no incident reports to discuss this morning, so that is our report today.
Oh, good. No incidents. That's unusual.
That is unusual. I always like it when there's more arrests than incident reports, but when there's no incident reports, that is good.
That's good news. Well, we appreciate you being with us on the radio on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you'll make it a good day and be safe out there.
Yes, sir. And you had mentioned missing person.
Yes.
Just like the report, Kaylee Maya Reese has been located, as well as Julian Chase Roberts, Anna Rena Head, and Anna Marie Norman. They have been reported missing over the last few weeks. All those have been located.
Good. All everybody safe and sound.
Yes, sir.
Great. That's good news to have. Sheriff, thank you very much. I'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 17 past the hour 7. Now, wouldn't it be nice to get medical attention and not have to leave your home? Now you can, thanks to Remote MD. Remote MD is pleased to announce they have initiated a telemedicine program for residents in North Carolina. The telemedicine program is available to all residents in North Carolina, including Rutherford and Polk counties. It is designed to treat common medical illnesses right from your home. Now, isn't that great? No appointment is necessary, no waiting for days to see someone. This is a wonderful opportunity for people who are struggling financially or have a complicated insurance plan. But your health is important to you, and you want attention now. There are no copays or deductible, and unlimited usage programs start at just $59.99 a month. Learn more about this program. Contact Remote MD today at www.remotemd.net. Again, that's www.remotemd.net. Let's say good morning to Emily. Emily's over at 911 Communications Center, and she has a report for us today on this Thursday morning. Emily, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's on that report?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office and 911 Communications has processed 417 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of EMS and rescue had 45 for emergency medical service, 26 for rescue. Law enforcement, there was 125 for Sheriff's Office, 66 for Forest City, 49 for Rutherfordton, 4 for Lake Lure, and 53 for Spindale. Bills Creek responded fire calls. Bills Creek had a structure fire and was assisted by Fairfield, Green Hill, and Shingle Hollow. Bostic had a fire investigation. Ellenboro had a gas leak. Forest City had a structure fire and smoke in structure and was assisted by Bostic, Ellenboro, and Sandy Mush. And Green Hill responded to a fire investigation, and that's all I have.
Thank you very much. You enjoy your day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers of Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. They continue to strive hard to keep that honor. Come on in and see for yourself. Take a look at the all-new design 2021 F-150 or reserve an all-new 2021 Bronco coming in the spring. Don't miss out on the automobile you've been wanting at the Sisk Family Ford price. Take your pick while the picking is good on Oak Street in Forest City.
Ruby Taylor is up next over in the Danieltown SDO Fire District. Ruby, how's it going over there?
Well, the fire department was quiet. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Laura Robbins, Jennifer Husky, Sadie White, and Chad Kester having birthdays today, and hope they have a nice day. Signs are in the thighs today and going to thighs tomorrow, and that's all I got.
Ruby, do you think you can handle all this spring-like weather this week?
I sure do. Maybe I get my mess straightened out over here.
Well, that'd be, so you got some good weather to do that. I hope you get that done.
If I can get my building in here, get it dry enough to get my building in here. Maybe I can get straightened out.
Good. I hope so. Ruby, I'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
20 minutes after 7.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Henson Building Materials is returning to our regular days and hours to better serve the fast-growing building needs of the Forest City area. Our hours will be 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. We'll still be taking safety measures, cleaning, wearing masks, and social distancing, all while our friendly and knowledgeable staff will be taking your orders on a variety of building, remodeling, and DIY projects. With the combined experience of over 50 years, Jamie Earls, Terry Dunaway, and Randy Harrell in our 10,000 square foot showroom will get you in and out, loaded and back to your project, all with the flexibility in ordering. And while you're at it, visit our Homeworks by Henson showroom with our 2 designers for all of your kitchen and bath cabinet and countertop design needs. Time to get out, get busy, and visit Henson Building Materials. Building starts here.
Now let's head up toward the Fairfield Mountains Fire District in Bills Creek area. And Gary Wilson, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. How you doing?
Doing fine. Do you think you can handle all this nice warm weather these next few days?
I tell you what, I looked at my phone. It showed 10 days of sunshine. I said, I'm all about that.
I'm with you, brother.
I'm all about that.
I'm with you.
I think we need to be careful about it. As much rain as we had, things dry out quickly during March because of the winds and low humidity and all that. So everybody needs to be careful. We're going to be doing any burning because typically March can be pretty windy and low humidity, and conditions can get right in a hurry. So, but just exercise a little caution and we'll be okay.
Yeah, we have wind gusts up to 23 miles per hour even today, so that's going to be a factor.
Yeah, that can be. And things dry out real quick on top of the ground. And we about 44 this morning. We had one fire call in the last 24 hours, assisted Bills Creek on a structure fire over in Cedar Creek. A couple loads of water over there to help them out with that. And that's the only calls we've had in the last 24, so starting off quiet this morning. Hope we keep it that way.
I hope so, too. I hope it's a quiet week for everybody. Everybody can just sleep good and enjoy the beauty of the day.
Get out and pull for Carolina Saturday when they play Duke.
Yeah, I hear you, Gary. You got a lot.
Unless you're a Duke fan, then you may not be pulling for Carolina.
You got a lot of friends when you said that. You got a lot of fans on that one.
I've always been a Carolina fan. I remember when they won the national championship in 1957. I was 9 years old watching it on TV.
Wow.
And I've been a fan ever since.
I bet so. Well, Brenda Kelly's a big fan as well, and a lot of other folks. We have.
Yeah, it's good. It's been a strange year for basketball, but they've managed to get through it so far this year. So hopefully they'll finish up the year good.
Well, that should be a good one Saturday. Folks have access close to a radio. They can do what they want to do and listen to the radio. And
that's always a good one, yeah.
You're
going to have it on the air Saturday?
We are. It's let's see. I was trying to look at the time on that.
Sure, what time that game starts?
Yeah, I don't see it on that. Wait a minute, here it is. Yeah. Pre-game is 5, and the tip-off is 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yep.
All right, sounds good. Everybody tune into that.
Yes, sir. Gary, you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
All right, talk to you then.
All right, bye. At McCurry Deck Motors, you can browse a selection of vehicles that includes all of the top models in Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC lineups. The McCurry Deck Motors lineup of vehicles checks all the boxes, ensuring that they will have the perfect vehicle for any car shopper that visits their lot. Come visit and see what's in store for you and your family with the McCurry Deck quality reputation of fair deals and customer service. Try the Chevy. Find new roads with Chevy. At McCurry Deck Motors, we're the home of Chevy, Buick, and GMC. 1740 U.S. Highway 74A, Forest City. Now, Cherry Mountain Fire District, here we come. Sue Price, good morning. Oh, I'm sorry, Bob Hodge, how you doing?
Oh, just fine. How you this morning?
Well, I'm confused. I turned around. Apparently, I lost my map.
Oh, I
thought you was getting ahead of me this morning there. But we're doing just fine on this beautiful sunshiny Thursday morning up here. With the fire department, we've answered one medical call overnight. I want to say happy birthday to Jeanette Dream this morning. And other than that, things are going along real good this morning.
You think you're going to be able to handle this warm weather these next few days?
Oh, yeah. This be nice there, but looks like we're going to have a little cool weekend, but at least it ain't going to be raining. So
Yep.
looks like we're going to have plenty of sunshine, so that'll be all right there. But maybe a drought will dry up a little, but you got to watch out now for these wood fires and things, because them grass and leaves dries up pretty fast, so be careful about burning. So
Yeah, it wouldn't take long for that spark to get started, would it?
that's right, with these March winds we're having. So, but Jim, that's about it up here. Things are going along real well this morning, and you take care, and you have a good day, and get out and enjoy this sunshine.
Thanks, Bob. I will, and I hope you do too, and I will see you tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks,
bye-bye.
Bob. Bye-bye. Bob Hodge reporting out of the Hudlow Fire District this morning, 26 now past 7.
It's great to get discounts on beautiful furniture, and thanks to the Recliner Center, you can get 10% off everything in the store. 10% off lift chairs, 10% off sofas, 10% off recliners, 10% off bedding. Angela has changed her hours to suit your schedule. The Recliner Center is now open Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 4, and Saturdays, 9 to 2. And of course, you can make an appointment by calling 828-395-3562. Come by soon and pick out the recliner, sofa, or lift chair that best suits you and get 10% off your purchase. Come by and see Angela Cooper at the Recliner Center today. The Recliner Center is on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Number 27 past the hour of 7 o'clock and 41 degrees. Let's head over and get to another phone call. Here's Bob Hodge. Bob, how you doing? I'm just kidding, Sue. I'm just kidding. Sue Price over Cherry Mountain. You doing okay?
I'm doing okay, Jim. Hope you are.
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Well, good. It's a beautiful morning over here.
Yes.
Sun's up and birds are at the feeder, so everything's going good. Well, let's say I didn't have any calls from the fire department. I don't have any birthdays on my church calendar for today or my personal calendar. And let's see, Fairview's got birthdays for Shannon Ledford and Ellen Hudson, so I hope they'll have a good day, and we hope anybody that's having a birthday will have a real good day on their special day. And in my announcements, on March the 7th at 7 p.m., there's going to be a singing at Riverside Baptist Church featuring the Golden Valley Crusaders. So that'll be a good one. Come on out and enjoy it. And so far, that's the only announcement I have. It's just quiet and calm over this way. We're looking for a real good day, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
I wonder if they'll let Butch Cook sing with them over there Sunday night.
Well, I don't know about that. I imagine he will.
I imagine he will, yeah. Oh, Butch is a good one.
He sure is.
Well, you have a great day and enjoy the beauty of the day, and I will see you tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, certainly we talked about the weather, how beautiful it is, how warm it's going to be. And if you're ready to dig in the dirt and plant some seeds, then you need to go to Washburn Store, because they now have planting seeds of all kinds in stock right now. And folks are beginning to get their selection, so don't you be left out. It's time for planting, and Washburn Store is always ready for it. By the time you get there, get to pick out seeds. They even have some work gloves. You can work in dig in the dirt with those gloves to keep your fingernails looking pretty. They got all kinds of things, a hat to put over your head to keep the sun out of your eyes. They're well equipped, and you can be too, with a visit to Washburn Store. Washburn General Store between Bostic and Sunshine, there on the Bostic Sunshine Highway in the Washburn community. Why don't you go by and do some browsing with them? They'll be glad to have you come in. They'd love to see you. And let's go have some breakfast now. Here's Jesse at the Drop-In Family Mart. Jesse, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. You sound like you're doing a lot of cooking.
Yes, I'm actually cooking right now. Everybody come on down and see me this morning. I got sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits. I got liver mush biscuits. If you don't want it on a biscuit, we can put it on toast or a bun. We're going to have our ribs today, so everybody come on down and see us. They're $6.99 a half a rack of ribs. I'm going to cook some macaroni and cheese and broccoli rice casserole. If you want ribs, half a rack of ribs, macaroni and cheese, and broccoli and rice casserole for $9.99. Can't beat that. So everybody come on down and see me this morning. In the meat department, we have a special going on. Ribeyes, steaks for $10.49 a pound. So everybody come on down and see us. Also, if anybody is looking for a job, come see us here at the drop-in. We are hiring for cashiers at the moment. We prefer you having any kind of type of openings, like we're looking for nights, so from 1:30 to 9 o'clock every day. So everybody come on down and see us. If you want to come and get fill an application out, you can come by the store or you can go by the office on Main Street in Forest City. We look forward to seeing everybody. We will be closing a little early until further notice since we are short-staffed up front. We'll be closing, I believe it'll be 8 o'clock every night until we can get some help.
Well, it sounds like it'd be a good place to work. A lot of nice folks work at Drop-In.
Oh, yes, sir. And we're here to help. So if you need any kind of help, if you need help pumping your gas, whatever it is, just let us know, and we'll go out there and pump it for you. Not a problem.
Good. Well, if I had a little more time on my hands, I'd come and apply for the job so I get to work with you.
Well, that sounds good, too.
You have a great day over there, Jesse, and I'll talk to you next time.
All righty. Thank you. You
Bye-bye.
too.
32 minutes after 7. There you go. Somebody could use maybe a job, part-time maybe. Go see them, and you get to meet a lot of folks and work with a lot of great people there at Drop-In Family Mart there in Bostic, right across from the post office. 32 minutes after the hour, we're going up to Shingle Hollow, I believe, next.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Now let's go up to Shingle Hollow, one of my favorite places in the area. Shingle Hollow, North Carolina, right near Piney Knob Baptist Church. We have Tina White on the phone to give us an update from that community, that fire district. Good morning.
Good morning from Shingle Hollow. What a beautiful day it already is.
It really is. What are you going to do for the week to enjoy the sunshine? You going strolling in the park?
Well, I might do the rail to trail.
There you
Just
go.
might get into anything today.
There you go.
I know it's supposed to be pretty for several days, and just say thankful for that. And how about finding all the missing persons? And no incident reports yesterday. I mean, God was just blessed us yesterday.
Well, it was a great 24 hours.
So we had the next 24 hours going to be the same way.
Absolutely.
I know the fire departments were busy. Shingle Hollow assisted Bills Creek with a structure fire, and they had one medical call. And Green Hill, they assisted Bills Creek, too, with a house fire yesterday morning. And then early this morning, they were out doing a fire investigation. So they've been busy. And birthdays, I don't have any on the church calendars, but I have one on my personal calendar, Mr. June Rodrigo. He's a missionary, and I hope he has a great big birthday. And I do have one announcement. A lady, Miss Rachel Ledford, who is new to the community, is starting a community garden project at the parking lot Life Center of Piney Knob Baptist Church on Saturday, March 6th at 2 p.m. And the flyer says, as we continue to have the problem of food shortage more and more each day, we need to start preparing as a community for what may come. Anyone can participate, whether you are physically able or not. We can grow safe and healthy food, get to know those whom we do not know, teach our kids good skills while making memories, and grow stronger as a community. The point will be to make sure all families are eating safe and healthy foods, regardless of what's happening outside food supplies. If you would like to contribute to building a safer, stronger, healthier, and more united community, please join us at the location listed. Together we can accomplish anything, and all are welcome. So that is Saturday, March 6th at 2 p.m. at Piney Knob Life Center.
All right. That sounds like a good plan.
It does. I hope that lots come out and, at least get together and see what they could do or might want to do.
See what it's all about, yeah. All right, yeah. Tina, anything else?
That's all I've got today. Have a great day, and let's make it incident-free.
I hear you. I'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's Tina White reporting out of the Shingle Hollow Fire District this morning. And we have 41 degrees. Beautiful day shaping up here in the foothills.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
And Union Mills is our next stop on this beautiful, tremendous Thursday morning. Let's see what Brenda Kelly's doing this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you on this tremendous sunny Thursday? It's going to be beautiful for the next 10 days.
Yes, isn't that something?
Yes, I'm putting a star beside your name because you told us that, and I'm going to put a star beside Gary Wilson's name because he's a Tar Heel fan.
Yeah, there you go. I knew that'd get your attention.
So y'all got gold stars beside your names today.
Well, I hope that's not the only star I get.
No, you'll get.
Hope I get one in my crown.
You will. You'll have a lot of stars in your crown.
I just got started. I got it working on it, getting a crown now.
Well, you don't get that till you go to heaven, do you?
I don't think so.
So you just go ahead and work on the stars as long as you can, and then when you get to heaven, you'll get the crown to lay at Jesus' feet. Okay?
There you go. I like the sound of that.
But we hope everybody's having a good day. I've got 34 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays and anniversaries. Don't know of nothing going on. But that was a good idea that Tina come up with, whoever that lady is, ain't it? Over at Piney Knob.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah. Keep people out of trouble and get over and help grow some food and feed people. Sounds good.
I'm all for feeding.
Well, there used to be something years ago. Was it called God's Little Acre or God's Acre or something?
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah. So.
I can't remember where that was.
It was back during one of the wars, I think, or something, and I think it goes back to where in the Bible they say leave some for the poor that can glean the fields. I think that's where it started from. I don't know.
God's Little Acre, I believe it's called.
But it makes sense, don't it?
Yeah, it does. I like that.
So,
yeah,
that sounds.
Folks can learn
good.
something about maybe growing some vegetables they never thought about.
Yeah,
should be a good thing.
Yeah, that's good. And then they may have enough they can preserve it and keep it for the winter.
Yeah. After it's grown and they cook it and they want somebody to eat it, they can just give me a call.
Oh, you go. They can have a big old dinner in their family life center.
That's right.
Wonder why they call them family life centers now instead of social halls. When I was growing up, it was called a social hall.
I know it. I don't know why they changed that.
I guess it's just different times. But
they used to call Sunday nights getting together BTUs.
Yeah, Baptist Training Union.
Yep.
Yeah. We always just said training union.
Yeah.
And a lot of churches nowadays don't even have Sunday night services. Our church don't.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So we've just got a long way from the Bible, haven't we?
Well, this is a different lifestyle altogether.
Yeah. I know a lot of people working at different things, but we can go when we can, so that's good. And a lot of churches still ain't having services in the churches. It's online or whatever. So I don't know.
I think people are getting a little tired of Zooming.
I'm telling you, yeah.
Zooming burnout.
Yeah. But I don't know of anything going on, so I guess you better go check on Luther Sweet Thing Gilligan to see how things are in Ellenboro.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, catch you later.
Right, bye-bye. 7:40 Thursday morning. We have one more day this week, and this first week of March will be wrapping up. One more work week, Friday and Saturday. My goodness, we're in the ending of the first quarter already.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
All right, let's head to Ellenboro now. Mr. Luther Gilligan is on the phone. He's got his news report close by and ready to give it to us. Good morning, Luther.
Good morning. Hope you're having a good day.
I am having a good day. Are you?
It's a great day down here.
Good.
Sun's shining, warming up. It's going to be a beautiful day.
Yeah.
We're going to have a good time today. Let's see what's going on there. Fire department had one gas leak, and they had one accident. They're out on accident now. Other than that, nothing else going on down here. Everything's quiet, peaceful. For the most part, everybody behaving themselves. So you have a great day up there, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Luther, you have a good day, too, and I'll see you.
All right, take care now.
Luther Gilligan, 42 minutes after 7. Time for birthdays on this fourth day of March, March 4th. If you're celebrating a birthday, let us celebrate with you, or having an anniversary, let us celebrate with you. And call us now at 287-3356. Todd's standing by if they're to take your call. He needs to talk on the phone with you, so give him a call. Get him busy. Birthdays and anniversaries coming up next.
Good morning. These are your headlines. Market declines, unemployment, oil prices. These can be pretty scary. Hi, I'm your Edward Jones financial advisor, Andrew Tisdale, and I'll work with you to help you understand the impact of these just short-term events and how it's not going to affect your long-term goals. We can provide the tools and the reasoned, disciplined approach on how to invest. So please, don't let these headlines derail your long-term financial strategy. Call us today, 828-287-9197. Our office is located in the Food Line Plaza in Rutherford. This was Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, and a member of the SIPC. Bye.
That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Birthday. Happy birthday to Carrie Singleton, Jeanette Green of Cane Creek. Jeanette turns 80 today. Betty Lane of Cane Creek also having a birthday. Riley Lauder is 19 over in Polk County. And Carolyn Towery is 68 celebrating today. So happy birthday to all these folks. We're happy that you're celebrating your birthday with us and have many, many more happy returns. Our special guest this morning in the 8 o'clock hour, Adrian Miner of the Red Cross, is going to chat with us briefly. Again at 8:30. George Allen is going to be with us to talk about a big event coming up. For those of you who are not in favor of abortions, you support life. We'll talk to you a little bit about that coming up 8:30 this morning. All right here, exclusively on WCAB.
Most leadership principles are neutral. They are neither spiritual nor secular. Some very wicked men use the same principles Jesus did. The person, not the principle, determines its value. The success of leadership is closely tied to the type of person who wields it. Who you are as a person is absolutely critical to your leadership ability. John Maxwell says, leadership is influence, nothing more and nothing less. A person can exemplify great leadership abilities, but if his personal character is suspect and not true to biblical standards, even his successes are often overlooked. His power to influence is diminished. President Bill Clinton had good skills, but his ability to influence others was overshadowed by his failure of character. You cannot be a strong leader without first becoming a person of strong character. There is no shortcut. Develop the disciplines necessary for building a life of personal integrity. Work hard at becoming a person like the psalmist David, who was called a person after God's own heart. By developing your character, you will be better equipped to wield the leadership skills with which God has blessed you. If you aspire to be a great leader, first, aspire to be a great person. This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living. Scripts of these programs are available in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
Nothing goes better with your early cup of coffee than Jim Bishop in the mornings on 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB.
Good morning. Good morning.
A warning from Capitol Hill that another attack by pro-Trump supporters could be in the works for today. ABC's Ike Ejachi.
The threat is linked to a far-right conspiracy theory pushed by QAnon, falsely claiming Trump will return to Washington today. The claims are false. The security measures are real. Barbed wire and fencing surrounding the Capitol. National Guard members with heavy military vehicles on duty. Roads closed.
The Senate is in session today, but House members have adjourned. President Biden calling it Neanderthal that some states are opening up all businesses and throwing masks away.
Texas opening businesses to full capacity and ending its mask mandate next week. Some applauding the move.
I'm about done with masks.
But the state has seen daily cases increase 75% over the last 10 days and ranks 48th in administering vaccines per capita.
That's ABC's Whit Johnson. The head of ERCOT, the nonprofit that runs Texas's electric grid, has been fired. Bill Bangus was in charge during those massive power outages in the state during that rare cold spell. More people were killed on America's roads last year than in previous years. ABC's Mark Remillard takes a look at some reasons why.
With many people working from home during the pandemic, the National Safety Council says the number of miles driven by Americans fell 13% in 2020, but it also says motor vehicle deaths jumped 8%. Preliminary data from the NSC showed as many as 42,000 people died in crashes last year. The NSC says it's urging President Biden and Transportation Secretary Buttigieg to take action, including mandatory ignition interlocks for convicted drunk drivers, lowering speed limits, laws banning all cell phone use while driving, and more. Mark Remillard, ABC News.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo addressing the sexual harassment allegations that he is facing. One of his accusers has said the remarks were full of falsehoods. You're listening to ABC News.
It's such a beautiful night. Look at the stars.
They're amazing. Did you know 20% of stars have planets orbiting them capable of sustaining life?
How did you know that? You must spend a ton of time reading.
Not at all. I use Blinkist.
Blinkist?
Yeah, it's an app that takes key insights from over 4,000 nonfiction bestsellers and gathers them into 15-minute blinks for you to read or listen to. With Blinkist, you can learn the main points of an entire book in just 15 minutes, as opposed to days or weeks.
What kind of books?
Nonfiction books in over 27 categories, from personal development to history, management, investing, philosophy, and more. Books like A Beautiful Mind, The 4-Hour Workweek, Freakonomics, and Sapiens. Blinkist makes it easy to learn about pretty much anything.
Like the stars?
Even the stars.
Right now, radio listeners get 25% off, plus 1 free week when you go to Blinkist.com/grow. To get this special offer, go to Blinkist.com/grow. That's BLINKIST.com/GROW.
A former Maryland police chief is now accused of setting a series of house fires dating back a decade. David Crawford is also facing more than a dozen attempted murder charges. The fires took place in several counties and included the home of the man who replaced him as the police chief in Laurel, Maryland. Craig Moe is the mayor there.
You know, somebody who is a former chief here. We first responders put their lives on the line every day, and to have somebody going out doing that, setting fires, is just unacceptable.
More charges could be on the way. Despite worries about the spread of the coronavirus in Iraq and a recent rocket attack on a coalition base there, the Pope is still planning his weekend trip to the country this weekend.
As the first pope to ever visit Iraq, Francis said he couldn't wait to see the faces of Iraqis, visit their land and extraordinary civilization, and that he would pray for reconciliation and healing after years of war and terrorism. The Pope's trip will be Francis's first in a year and a half. Many are concerned not just because of the high COVID infection rate in Iraq and the large crowds the visit will draw, but also because of potential terror attacks. Megan Williams, ABC News, Rome.
Football fans might have to turn to Amazon to see some games. The Wall Street Journal says Amazon and the NFL are close to a deal that would make Prime Video the only place to see Thursday night football after the 2022 season. This is ABC News.
So much is happening, but who can you trust? You need to check out Newsmax TV, the fastest growing news channel in America. Watch it on all major cable systems and see shows with Sean Spicer, Greg Kelly, Lindsey Keith, Stinchfield, and Rob Schmidt. They're giving you the real story on Biden and Pelosi. So download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone now or watch Newsmax on Roku, YouTube, Pluto, Zumo, and more. 30 million Americans watch Newsmax TV. So should you.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Hello and happy Thursday. We'll see a beautiful afternoon today. Plenty of sunshine. It'll be rather warm and also breezy at times. Highs today in the mid to upper 60s to close to 70. Clear sky, chilly tonight thanks to a cold front. We start back in the low to mid 30s Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see a mostly sunny sky, cooler temperatures with highs in the mid 50s. And we'll see the sunshine with cooler temperatures continue through the weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
It certainly is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We're still 41 degrees, starting out 41. We should be climbing up to 67, but we'll have some wind gusts to about 23 miles per hour. As far as I can see, all the way through Wednesday of next week, it's mostly sunny, mostly clear skies. Temperatures will be nice in the daytime, cooler at night. I see some almost freezing temperature on Saturday night and Sunday night, 28 on Saturday night, 30 on Sunday night, and warming back up again by the first of the week. So it's crazy up and down the scale weather, but we sure can enjoy these next few days with our temperatures so nice. Bottom of the hour, we have another guest in the studio with us coming in. George Allen will be here with me to talk about some interesting things I want you to know more about. Right now, though, on the phone with me right now is Adrian Miner. He's volunteer recruitment with the American Red Cross, and he's on the phone with me right now to talk about something. Good morning, Adrian. How are you doing?
Good morning. I am doing well, and thank you for having me today.
Sure. I hope you got big plans for this beautiful week of weather.
I sure do. I'm going to take advantage of it for sure.
Good. Tell us a little bit about the Red Cross and what's going on and what you're doing in terms of the Red Cross. I know there are always needs, and during this crucial time we've been having a lot of COVIDs up. I'm sure everything is in much need.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm the volunteer recruitment specialist for Western North Carolina. So I look over 18 counties. And the volunteers for the Red Cross are very essential to what we do and help us fulfill our mission. And 90% of our workforce are volunteers. And we had to kind of change and adjust and adapt to the COVID-19 environment. And we have a lot of volunteer positions that are in need and that can be done from the comfort of your home. So one volunteer position, in your community that's in need is to support our disaster action team. And these are the people that kind of respond to local disasters in the community. So it could be a house fire. It could be, if it's a bad storm overnight and a tree happens to fall on the house. We have individuals that respond and help that individual or family to make sure they get accommodation, food, clothing, etc. So this person would just give them a call, see what they need, see if there's any injury, see if they have family around, and make sure that they are, provided the right resources, and then they move on to one of our partners. I'm sure you guys heard of the disasters in Texas and throughout the nation. These people are also called to be deployed nationwide. So once you start locally and you serve your community, you have the opportunity to also go out to other states and help other people in need.
Yeah. Over the years, Rutherford County has had a tremendous disaster team. And over the years, of course, they age out. Many of them have already passed on. And we do need to reorganize and get, again, some volunteers in place that understand how to do this disaster. And I'm sure Red Cross will do a lot of training with that, won't they?
Yeah, absolutely. We have training that can be done from your home. So our disaster services team, they're phenomenal when it comes to training. You don't need any previous experience. All of it is virtual. And then you'll also have the opportunity to meet the rest of your teammates. And then also just learn from them, learn about the calls and how to, give that customer service to the people in need. So absolutely, all training is provided and it's free.
I've known over the years Red Cross have been so helpful in folks when the house burns down and have no place to live. Red Cross intervenes and finds them a place to spend a night or two or several with. And so the Red Cross have been very beneficial over the years, and it's a vital part of what we do here in the county, and I hope indeed folks will jump in there. Now, let me ask you, does the disaster team, or those who volunteer, is the military acclimation also part of that, where they call a family, they send the military when they have a death at home?
Yeah, so that's something separate. That has to deal with our service to the armed forces.
Yeah, okay.
So we do have that connection where we connect family members of military and make sure that we provide anything they need. So if they have someone overseas that they need to get in contact with, we do provide that service. Again, that is a virtual volunteer, and it's a key part of what we do. Absolutely, but that is separate from disaster services.
Yeah. Adrian, and back to the disaster relief people. Is there an age limit? What's the qualifications to become a volunteer?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So we want to be sure that our volunteers on the disaster action team are 18 years and older. You must have just basic computer skills, a valid driver's license just in case you have to drive, and then just access to a computer, tablet, smartphone, and adequate internet service. So you'll be able to be on call, receive phone calls, and then go on the computer if need be to complete the information online. So one big thing, you just have to be a self-starter, willing to help your community, because it is very difficult to work from home sometimes and virtually. So you have to have that self-motivation. But if you have all those requirements, we would definitely love to have you on the team.
Does Rutherford County currently have any volunteers in that respect of disaster?
Yeah, so we have about 4 disaster action team members in your county. We have 1 disaster action team lead. So we hope to have a total of 10.
Okay.
So we need about 6 more.
Okay. And how do they volunteer? What do they need to do?
Yeah, so you can go to redcross.org/volunteer, or you can just contact me. My phone number is 828-450-4087. My email address is Adrian, that's ADRIAN, .mines, MINES, at redcross.org. And basically, to get involved, it's very simple. You would just have to fill out a volunteer application online. We'll do a small background check, which takes less than a week. And then our disaster services team will reach out to you and make sure you'll get on track with the right training.
Well, I'm sure there are quite a few folks retired or have time on their hands that'd like to do something meaningful for the community. It would be a great opportunity for them to go. They're just looking for somebody to help. So I hope they're listening
Absolutely.
up this morning and they'll jump in and do that.
Yes. Please. Yeah, if you're looking for something, if you want to help the community virtually, this is the perfect opportunity for you. And you'll get to meet other Red Crossers, and it's a very close-knit community. So we would love to have you.
Adrian, thanks so much for your time this morning. I hope indeed we've stimulated some interest and got some folks curious about jumping in and helping our community through this disaster relief with the Red Cross.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you.
13 minutes after 8 o'clock. Guest coming in our studio in about 15 minutes. We've got more guests to talk with this morning about something else I want you to know more about.
If you won the new Millionaire Maker Scratch-Off, what kind of millionaire would you be? Are you the turns their backyard into a golf course millionaire? Or maybe the builds a matching mansion just for your dog millionaire? Good boy. Or the escapes to your private beach when life gets busy millionaire? Sweet. Millionaire Maker from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With 30 top prizes of $1 million, it could be your shot at becoming a millionaire. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 2.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Some of the items from news from here and there, you heard Philip yesterday morning talk about this, but elementary schools in the county will be reopening March 22nd after some debate, including disagreement. The Rutherford County Board of Education decided to reopen elementary schools under Plan A, which is full face-to-face on-campus learning 5 days per week. The decision was not unanimous. Board members Brendan Gosey, Brandy Nanny, Tracy Short, and Chairman Philip Morrow voted in favor of Gosey's motion, while Sherry Bright and Vice Chairman Rick Ficklin voted against that measure. Board member Angel King was not present at the meeting. Bright and Ficklin made clear they are in favor of moving back to Plan A, but they favored a possible 4-day per week in-person learning plan instead of 5 days. Under the 4-day plan, some teachers who would be tasked with teaching remote learners as well as teaching in person would, in theory, have more time to spend on the remote learners. Elementary schools will resume operation under Plan A, the 5-day plan, beginning Monday, March 22nd. A lot of folks are greatly excited about moving back into that possibility. Also, you heard Philip say on Wednesday morning, the Rutherford County Schools high school graduation dates are set. Officials are confident they will be able to stick to the normal spring schedules, even though the impacts of COVID-19 remain. Rutherford Early College High School, the REACH graduation will be May 26, 8 p.m. at RS Central High School's football stadium. Rutherford Opportunity Center, ROC Rock, will hold graduation May 27th at 7 p.m. on the front lawn of the school campus. East Rutherford High School will hold graduation May 28th at 8 p.m. and Chase High on May 29th at 8 p.m. and RS Central High School May 30th at 8 p.m. Graduation for the three traditional high schools will be in their football stadiums. Superintendent David Sutton said during the RCS board meeting Tuesday evening, "I remember well the difficulties and the struggles we had last year with finding a way to honor our graduates. I did not think we would still be having to consider COVID-19 as we think about graduation this year." Sutton went on to say, "I'm happy to report that we are in a much better position than we were last year." So that is good news also for the students to be able to have graduation as per we remember it. 60 minutes after 8 o'clock, the Sheriff's Report will be coming up here in just a few moments.
At Smith's Drugs of Forest City, we are currently awaiting the COVID-19 vaccinations for the public, and we are expecting to have them available soon. We will be using a waiting list in the meantime that you can find on our website at www.smithsdrugsfc.com to pre-register for the vaccine. Smith's Drugs will provide a link to our website from our Facebook page to pre-register as well. Be mindful of CDC and local government priorities and guidelines that Smith's Drugs will comply with when vaccinations do begin, starting with those on the waiting list. Smith's Drugs will contact you when the vaccinations become available. There will be no COVID-19 vaccinations for walk-ins. It is only through our waiting list for the foreseeable future. If you do not have access to the internet, you can come into Smith Drugs and fill out the form, and you will be added to the wait list. If you have any questions, please visit our website at www.smithsdrugsfc.com for all details, or please call us at 828-245-4591. Thank you.
It's the Celebrate Great event at Carolina West Wireless. Come in today for great deals on all your favorite iPhones, like $350 off the new iPhone 12 or $300 off other select iPhones, including the iPhone 12 mini. Plus, get even more great savings with an unlimited data plan including 4 lines for just $35 per line per month, all backed by our powerful nationwide high-speed network. So you can go stay connected wherever your travels take you. Come into Carolina West Wireless and celebrate great today. Carolina West Wireless. Go stay connected. Certain restrictions or conditions may apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
Carolina West, now a sponsor of high school football broadcast here on WCAB. We appreciate them being a part of our broadcast on Friday nights and any live remote broadcast we may be doing this year. Well, here's the deal on high school football Friday night. Our game of the week, Shelby at RS Central, 6:30 countdown to kickoff, 7 o'clock play-by-play. Other games include Burns at Chase, and that's Chase's homecoming on Friday night. Polk County at East Rutherford High School. Now, Thomas Jefferson versus Gastonia Highlands was postponed due to COVID. However, they did work in another game for Friday night. Thomas Jefferson will play East Rowan in Avondale with a 6:30 kickoff for Friday night for TJ. Well, we hear so much about trying to get over this COVID mess and situation, and they tell us all the things we should be doing, and we should be doing: face masks, 6 feet apart, wash hands, all those kind of things, close our churches and different things like that. But more than 100 illegal immigrants released by the Border Patrol into Texas since late January have tested positive for the coronavirus following their arrival. Officials in the city on the U.S.-Mexico border told Fox News. Felipe Romero, a spokesman for Brownsville, said Wednesday that the 108 positives represent 6.3% of the number of total migrants who have been rapid tested at the city's main bus station, where they are being released by the Border Patrol. Rapid testing of the individuals began there on January 25th. He added that Brownsville does not have the authority to prevent those who test positive from traveling elsewhere in the U.S. and are advising them to quarantine, follow the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Now, here they are letting them in the country, testing positive, and that's your new president's administration, folks, doing that. Yep, that's your new folks. That's your new president's administration doing that and letting them come in by the bus loads and come in by the hundreds and the thousands into our borders unprotected. That's our new leadership we have there in Washington, folks. Well, and I guess you've also been hearing about 6 Dr. Seuss books have been pulled from the marketplace because of their, quote, racist, quote, images. 6 Dr. Seuss books, including And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street and If I Read the Zoo, will stop being published because of so-called racist and insensitive imagery, the business that preserves and protects the author's legacy. Dr. Seuss Enterprise told the Associated Press in a statement that coincided with the late author and illustrator's birthday, said these books portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong, they said. Ceasing sales of these books is only part of our commitment and our broader plan to ensure Dr. Seuss Enterprise catalog represents and supports all communities and families. Now, I don't know about you, but the Dr. Seuss books I've read didn't insult me. I didn't see anything wrong there, but maybe these folks who get their feelings hurt on every little thing that comes down the pike, they got some kind of axe to grind, so they want to pull everything. I expect before too long they'll be pulling pianos off the market. Think about it. Here now is Sheriff Chris Francis. He had a report earlier this morning for broadcast at this time.
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 125 calls for service. There have been 14 arrests. Incarcerated, we have 134. Among those arrested, Bryson Weldon Alex Flynn, 19-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with 8 counts of failure to appear and received a $72,000 secured bond. Henry Dean Garrison, 68-year-old male of Morrisboro, was charged with failure to appear and received a $5,000 secured bond. Stephanie Lena Ray Waters, 32-year-old female of Rutherford, was charged with failure to appear and received a $1,000 secured bond. Eddie Eugene Cowrie, 49-year-old male of Lake Lure, was charged with failure to appear and received a $10,000 secured bond. Christopher Chad Wilson, 37-year-old male of Morrisboro, was charged with larceny by employee, obtaining property with false pretense ×3, and larceny of a firearm ×2, and received a $10,000 secured bond. In general, there were no incident reports to discuss this morning, so that is our report today.
Thank you for making WCAB your radio station of choice for over 50 years. Let's keep it going. Turn it up. This is 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB Rutherfordton.
Sports update coming up here in just a few minutes. Some special guests in the Blue Room with me following sports. My Great America, 9:05 this morning with Jim and Butch. It's all happening right here exclusively on the mighty 590 and the powerful 100.9 FM.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. NC State was impressive last night in beating Notre Dame 80-69 at South Bend for their fourth consecutive win and fifth straight on the road, which is their longest ACC win streak away from home since the 2003-2004 season. Last night's game was also likely the Wolfpack's last regular season game because Saturday's scheduled matchup with Virginia Tech has been canceled because of a COVID issue within the Hokies program. If that's the case, head coach Kevin Keatts thinks they have good momentum to enter the ACC tournament.
I like the way we're playing. Right now, we can make the argument that we're playing just as good as anybody in the ACC. And, certainly when you're playing well, you want to continue to play. I think our guys are bought in. They're finally clicking. And when it's clicking, you want it to be clicking in March. And we'll evaluate everything in the next couple of days. We'll talk to the ACC. We'll figure out if there's an opportunity or if there's not an opportunity, and we'll make the best situation.
Other ACC action last night. Number 11 Florida State won their 25th straight ACC home game over Boston College. It puts them in position to win the league's regular season title if they beat Notre Dame on Saturday. Other finals around the state last night. Just one. Florida A&M edged NC Central 65-58. On the pro court, Terry Rozier scored 31 points, and Gordon Hayward added 23 as the Hornets head into the All-Star break with a crushing 135-102 win over the skidding Minnesota Timberwolves. Head coach James Borrego likes where the team is at the intermission.
The biggest thing is getting our rest, being healthy, and getting our full squad back sooner rather than later. If we do that, we have the potential to have a very good second half and a very good season.
On the ice, the Hurricanes fans will be allowed through the gates of PNC Arena for the first time tonight when the Canes host the Detroit Red Wings. No tailgating will be allowed, and fans will have to have a digital ticket. No paper tickets will be scanned at the gate. This is NCN Sports.
If you control farmland in eastern North Carolina and looking for the best use of your farm, you'll want to know about the Harvey Cotton Success Program. Cotton prices are rising, and Harvey's, with nearly 150 years of helping solve problems for North Carolina farmers, introduces a truly turnkey, one-stop cotton solution without the need for third-party financing. Now is the time to consider cotton. Learn more about how you can take advantage of the Harvey Cotton Success Program at harveyfertilizerandgas.com.
The 2021 Honda ATV lineup is here to prove it's possible to work smarter and harder. With the power to get the job done, the technology to make it easier, and tried and tested quality to keep you moving forward, the only thing left to add is you. Then you'll understand how life is better on a Honda. Honda recommends ATVs for riders 16 years and older and recommends that all ATV riders take a training course.
Authorities in LA County are taking a closer look at the circumstances around Tiger Woods' car accident last week. Even as the golfer is mending after surgery to repair multiple broken bones in his right leg, detectives are examining data from the vehicle he was driving. The information in the SUV's black box records things like vehicle speed, steering, and whether the brakes were applied. There's no immediate word on what's turned up in the search of the data so far. Yankees manager Aaron Boone is taking a leave of absence after recovering from surgery. The team said Boone had a pacemaker installed yesterday at St. Joseph's Hospital in Tampa, Florida. CBS Sports MLB analyst Jim Bowden says the Bronx Bombers shouldn't have any issues while Boone is away.
The Yankees are well set up in terms of their organization and their staff and their evaluation. And for this to take place now will not be a setback.
Boone could be back for spring training within 2 to 3 days. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Hello and happy Thursday. We'll see a beautiful afternoon today. Plenty of sunshine. It'll be rather warm and also breezy at times. Highs today in the mid to upper 60s and close to 70. Clear sky, chilly tonight thanks to a cold front. We start back in the low to mid 30s Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see a mostly sunny sky, cooler temperatures with highs in the mid 50s. And we'll see the sunshine with cooler temperatures continue through the weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
Well, if you like beautiful warm weather for this time of year, you've got it this week. It's going to be nice all week long. 67 is our expected high. Tomorrow it'll be 59, 55 on Saturday. Sunday, 55, 60 on Monday, 64 on Tuesday, and 64 on Wednesday. Now, keep in mind, the nights are going to be cool, though. It's going to be down in the freezing some nights, but daytimes are warming up nicely. If you want to do some outside work, this may be the week to get started. 45 degrees right now. And this is a terrific, tremendous Thursday morning. Another great getting up morning in the foothills. 29 minutes after 8 o'clock. This is WCAB Rutherfordton, serving the foothills of the Carolinas. I have a special guest in the Blue Room with me coming up right after this.
If you won the new Millionaire Maker Scratch-Off, what kind of millionaire would you be? Are you the turns their backyard into a golf course millionaire? Or maybe the builds a matching mansion just for your dog millionaire? Good boy. Or the escapes to your private beach when life gets busy millionaire? Sweet. Millionaire Maker from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With 30 top prizes of $1 million, it could be your shot at becoming a millionaire. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 2.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
With me in the Blue Room this morning, I'm always excited to have special guests, particularly when they represent organizations that I believe very strongly in. And with me this morning is Paula Rogalski. She's the director of Hands of Hope. And with her is George Allen. He's the vice chair of the organization as well. George is also associate pastor of Grace Chapel in Forest City. And they're here today to talk a little bit about what that organization does and how they can help so many folks. Paula, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having us here.
George, glad to have you here.
Thank you, Jim. We're glad to be here.
Paula's been with me before. George, I believe this is the first time for you in the Blue Room?
Oh, one other time a long time ago.
Right,
Yeah,
a while ago.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
I knew you couldn't stay away forever. Let's talk a little bit first. Refresh our memory for our audience about Hands of Hope. What exactly does your organization do?
Well, we are a pregnancy resource center, which means that we serve those who are facing pregnancy, generally those with an unplanned pregnancy and not quite sure where to go. So we talk with them about their options for through the pregnancy, and Hands of Hope will walk them through. They can earn material items so that when the baby's born, they have what they need for the baby, as well as they can stay in our program until their child reaches age 2. So we do parenting education, life skill education, counsel support, just to be there as another person when they're going through such a difficult time. And sometimes we serve families that even after the child is born, they might be struggling financially or lost a job or some kind of situation has got it so it's difficult for them to support their child. So we're kind of a supplement of material items for them.
We hear every day on the news, and I talk about it a lot on this program, about Planned Parenthood and all the babies that they help kill every year.
Yes.
So I'm glad there's a strong organization like yours here locally that folks can turn to.
Yes.
Do you have any idea over the years how many folks you've helped maybe since you've been involved with it?
Well, last year we served 88 families. I know the year before that we had over 100 families, so quite a few.
Yeah,
It's hard to say exactly how many, but we also serve those even on an emergency basis. The other thing, we do our pregnancy tests, so they can come in and do a pregnancy test with us, and we can give them the documentation that they need for getting pregnancy Medicaid and refer them to other resources. So we get quite a few people coming through our door.
George, what kind of impact do you think it has on families when they come through the center and you're able to be helped like that?
Well, I think one of the great things that comes out of that type of support is it stabilizes that family, and it helps them to meet the needs so that they can gain some stability. So not only does it help them make that decision for life, which is greatly important, but in addition to it brings stability to the family. One of the things that Paul and I are working on also is to support the men, support the fathers of those children, and bring some stability to their lives, that they can help the mothers through after the baby's born, through that fathering process. So,
how are the fathers? How do you help them? What do you do for them?
Well, we're actually taking them through some discipleship process. So we're trying to schedule. We've scheduled and had some small groups to where we've met with them, prayed with them on a weekly basis, and then we have a program that's 15 weeks. It's called Fathering in 15. It's a discipleship program which they can get it on their phone, and walk them through the process of discipleship. And so I think so much of it is just being an encourager, being there, having somebody to be there, and we welcome any of the men that are out there that are your listeners that would like to be a part of this program, to reach out to the people at Hands of Hope and say, hey, I'd like to be a mentor, a dad for a dad of a newborn family.
So So I'm assuming then that, like a lot of organizations, you could use volunteers. You're looking for volunteers, right?
Yes. and with COVID last year shutting down a lot of things, we've lost a lot of volunteers, but we've had new ones come on just recently, so we're excited about that as well. Other thing we'd like to see is I put together in the mentoring program outside, what we call outside client advocates, because some of our clients don't have transportation, so we would love to connect them with individuals who might meet with them outside of Hands of Hope hours and office space too.
At what point in the time the lady recognizes that she's pregnant, at what point in time does she come to you?
Sometimes they come to us very early in it, and sometimes too early to even detect, but generally they kind of know about 5 weeks, and at that point too, which is great, the baby can show up on an ultrasound, and we have a mobile unit that comes once a month that if we have someone who comes in and does a pregnancy test and is positive, we can schedule them for an ultrasound in that mobile unit.
I'm assuming the service is free to the client.
Every bit of it is free. They pay nothing. Yeah. We do not even also file with Medicaid. We all work off donations.
Yeah. So is donations a major way of getting your support?
It is pretty much the only way we get our support. This and fundraisers like the one we have coming up.
United Way is not involved at all?
No. We work with United Way and Department of Social Services will refer clients to us as well, but everything we do is free and based on donations.
If there might be maybe a young lady and boy, guy that's with her, or maybe a parent of a daughter who just experienced this kind of thing, what advice would you give them at this particular moment?
Don't make any rash decisions right at that moment of finding out. Give it time. We encourage them to come and talk with us or someone about the situation. Generally, talking about things helps you work out the process. That's basically it. Don't make a decision just based on that moment.
Decisions in fear can be made hastily and the wrong decision sometimes.
Yes, absolutely. And a struggle. We know that those making a decision for abortion are in critical situations, and it can't be undone. And sometimes afterwards, it may become something that they realize it wasn't really what I wanted to do. But we also help with those. If they have had an abortion or are struggling with it, we welcome them to come and talk with us. We have materials that we can go through to help them find healing through the process as well.
Now your physical location is where? I believe you've moved since I talked with you last.
We have, I'm not sure when that was, but we currently are at 671 Oak Street, which is next to Jay's Discount Grocery, but we are presently renovating an office and moving to 124 Turner Street, hopefully by the end of this month. That's what the desire is. We'll see. It's been a long process, but
that'd be great. That'd give you a lot more room and accommodation in the parking too.
It will. We're looking forward to it. We were donated this property, and so we're really excited about moving into it.
That is great. George, how does the organization go about raising money from people that need to help?
Well, one of the I guess probably their largest fundraiser is every year they hold a banquet, and many banquets in our community have been shut down as a result of the pandemic, and so that's really been the challenge of the ministry this year, is that they're not able to hold their banquet. And so we've looked for a lot of different ways to raise monies, and the best way that we can find to help the ministry at this time is to try to do things outside. And so, we're looking at doing walks, and then, of course, the biggest thing that we really have planned for this year is the golf tournament, and so that's going to be our biggest push this year.
Let's talk about that golf tournament. When that's coming, and how's that shape us? I like an exciting thing.
Yes. So we're going to do that on April 17th at Meadowbrook Golf Course, right here in our
Birdies for babies. I like that.
Yeah.
It's Captain's Choice team. How can he sign up?
they can contact the resource center. They can either contact them or they could call me. I would certainly help them in that process. But the main way to do that is just to contact the resource center. And so there's a lot of flyers that are going throughout the community. If you're part of Marsha Dave's ministry on Facebook with Rutherford County Interacting, there's information posted out there, and so we're posting it everywhere we can to get the information out.
They can also go to this website
Yes.
and register.
That is HH4, letter 4, lifegolfevent.com. That's HH4, the letter 4, life golf event, all together, all runs together there, .com. Now, some Facebook and emails and websites, sometimes their addresses are hard to remember, but that one's easy. HH, Hands of Hope, 4, letter 4, lifegolfevent.com. Go there and learn all about this, Birdies for Babies, which is going to be taking place Saturday, April 17th. Rain date is April 24th in Meadowbrook. And you can enjoy a complete program of special events, 18 holes of golf, including the cart. Refreshments, dinner follow the tournament. And it'll be a great event, and we're going to hope the weather's going to be perfect like it is this week, right?
That would be nice.
Well, I'm in the process of trying to pull my team together, see if I can play in that tournament.
Wonderful.
I think it'll work great. What else can you tell us about the Hands of Hope that we might need to know that we haven't talked about, perhaps, either one of you?
Well, I guess I'd like to say, I think Paula has mentioned the ultrasound and statistics. I think Paula knows the statistics better than I do. But you know what they have learned, that is when a mom comes and approaches the center, not only are they going to get a lot of help and a lot of encouragement, a lot of support, which will help them through that process, but if they would choose to do the ultrasound and they hear the heartbeat of that baby, the statistics are very high that when a mom hears that heartbeat, that they will choose life, and that's what we would encourage them to do.
One thing about that as well, we do have the mobile unit, which comes once a month. Our desire is to be able to do this in-house with our own nurse doing the ultrasounds. And so our plea is for a doctor who would be willing to be our medical director. It's a voluntary position, but we can't do it without being under a doctor's license.
Are you in need of things there at the center for like baby toys or bassinets and things like that to donate to the mother? Do you need anything like that?
We always need things like that. We try to shy away from toys, but definitely strollers and pack and plays are pretty much mostly what we use because it's mobile and they can move them around. And of course, always need diapers, usually larger size diapers than we do the smaller ones. We're just asking that be after March 29th so we don't have to move it to our new location.
I understand. I can get that. All right. Well, I'm sure glad you all came by today because I think folks need to know more about it and be reminded, top of the mind, on what this organization is all about. And they need to know about this Captain's Choice Golf Tournament. It's an easy way for guys and gals to get out and enjoy themselves and raise some money. And all the money goes directly to the community, right?
Yes, to the center. Everything does. Yes, absolutely.
Hands of Hope, HH letter 4, number 4, HH4 lifegolfevent.com is a way to get signed up for this golf tournament.
And also, if you want to sponsor it, you can sponsor through the website as well.
Okay. Well, to be a sponsor, you can do that.
Yeah, so you can either play on the team or be a sponsor. Yeah.
I'm sure you'll have whole sponsors as well as sponsor the event as well.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And we've had people also reach out and want to to be a sponsor and say, in memory of somebody that they love. So do a memorial sponsor in memory of someone. And so we've gotten some good response to that as well.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Paula Rakowski, Director of Hands of Hope, and George Allen, who is Vice Chair of the Board and also Associate Minister at Grace Chapel in Forest City. And they hear him on Sunday mornings here around here too. So thanks for coming.
Thank you for
the good work
Jim.
you're doing, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
44 minutes past 8 o'clock, and we'll have My Great America with Jim DeButch coming up at 9:05. Right now, let's hear this.
For a delicious meal every day, call on Gregory's Original. Choose from their top menu of burgers, subs, grinders, pasta dishes, fresh salads, and so much more. All dishes are prepared fresh daily. Hours are Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., Saturday, noon until 9 p.m. Now at Gregory's, try the family-style meals. The dining room is now open, but curbside and takeout is still available. Enjoy lunch or dinner today with your favorite meal from Gregory's. Call 287-2171, located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherford's Gregory's Original.
There are plenty of drugstores in Rutherford County, but not all of them offer the same personal customer service that is offered at the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton. Laura Hodge and her team have trusted, experience, and professional service. You're not just a number to them, you're a friend. Make the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton your hometown drugstore at 200 Charlotte Road in Rutherfordton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 1, 287-7117.
It's always a pleasure to have live radio. We can have guests come by and talk about things that are happening in the community and raise awareness for you, our listeners, to know more about it and to be involved if you like to be involved and learn what's going on. Canned radio just won't do it. Live radio can handle that, and we appreciate the fact that many of you want to be exposed to what you're doing for the community. We love to serve the community, and that's what we're all about in local radio, serving the foothills of the Carolinas. Let's look at a couple of other items that I'm going to clear out of here and make room for my Great America with Jimmy the Butch and give my old voice a little rest before that time. But the number of kids who identify as LGBT, especially trans and bisexual, is absolutely skyrocketed. And if you think this is a natural or organic development, you're deluded. The media, Hollywood, and the school system actively recruit children into the LGBT ranks, and they're doing that through television, through movies, through articles, through games. They're doing and infiltrating your kids' minds and my grandkids' minds. The percentage of American adults identifying themselves as LGBT has risen to 5.6%, with the shift largely driven by young people, according to a Gallup survey released on Wednesday. The overall 5.6% number is an increase from Gallup's finding of 4.5% in 2017, according to the report, which is based on more than 15,000 interviews. But the most dramatic LGBT self-identification numbers come from young people. 15.9% of Generation Z, that's those folks born from 1997 to 2002, and 9.1% of millennials born from 1981 to 1996, those are called millennials. And by contrast, just 3.8% of Generation X, that's born from 1965 to 1980, and 2% of baby boomers born from 1946 to 1964, and 1.3% of those who born before 1946 identifies LGBT. So you see, this generation, we've been so infiltrated by television, things on radio, things in magazines and games and movies, make it so easy to accept. And I've said many times, the gay community and the gay acceptance started with not bombarding, knock our door down, but it started very casual on television, very light show that accepted it, had a friend who was gay kind of thing, and then they married, this kind of thing. Now, Hallmark has even broken down to the pressure from the LGBT movement. The Hallmark Channel, which has always been sweet, lovey-dovey, everything's nice, and everybody loves heterosexual. Now, Hallmark is having movies with gays on there, men marrying men. I would have never thought Hallmark would have bowed to the pressure, but they have done that. And those kind of things, that's why this generation has changed. The most dramatic LGBT self-identification numbers come from young people. 15.9% of the Generation X, that is those folks born from 1997 to 2002. Now they are in school trying to teach first graders, second graders to read books about my two mommies, my two daddies, or making it so easy for themselves. that's fine. So more than half of the LGBT adults identify as bisexual. So it's the kind of thing that they're no longer sneaking it in on us. They're blatantly pushing it in. And the council culture is one of those things also that's ramrodding like a big freight train going right through the center of town. Mark Penn, director of Harvard CAPS Harris poll, said Americans are showing increased and substantial concern about the growth of council culture. They wanted to counsel all of the things that we know of as Judeo-Christian values. They wanted to counsel, like for Hallmark shows that are so all-American, wanted to counsel those and make them more sexual-oriented, bisexual-oriented. A newly released survey found the majority of Americans believe council culture poses a threat to our freedom. They're counseling out monuments, taking down monuments, counseling out history classes that taught the great history of our America, our forefathers. They're counseling out Ancient Mama pancake mix. They're counseling out things like Gone with the Wind. Now even Dr. Seuss, who knows why, but when they get a foothold, it's like the camel sticking his nose under the tent. Once he gets his nose under there, the tent comes down. 64% of respondents answered affirmatively when asked in a new Harvard CAPS Harris poll, do you think there is a growing council culture that is a threat to our freedom or not? If I were to ask you that, do you think there is a growing concern, a growing council culture that is a threat to our freedom or not? I'm talking to you, those of you listening. Well, when broken down along ideological lines, 80% of Republican participants said council culture poses a threat to freedom, while only 48% of Democrats said the same. 64% of independents agreed it's a threat to our freedom. 64% of independents agreed it's a threat to our freedom. 80% of Republicans said it was. 48% of Democrats said it wasn't. The Cambridge Dictionary defines council culture as, quote, a way of behaving in a society or group, especially on social media, in which it is common to completely reject and stop supporting someone because they have said or done something that offends you. They wanted to counsel preachers and sermons from the pulpit. Americans are showing increased and substantial concern about the growth of council culture. Tech companies beware that the public sees them acting out of bias tilted toward the Democrats, and voters are calling for new regulations to ensure fairness and openness. That's according to Mark Penn, director of Harvard CAPS Harris poll. So people are beginning to talk about it, and it seems to be the left thinks it's all right for them to do whatever they want to, but it's not all right for the right to do it. Notice how much they have started to ignore Governor of New York, but now it's beginning to flare up on him. Yep. And you hear about this. Mr. Potato Head. There for a while they were talking about taking the Mr. out of Potato Head. I think they kindly decided, Hasbro's kindly decided that they would come out with a potato head, but without the Mr. Potato. They're going to keep making the Mr. Potato Head, have Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, because it denoted a sexual preference, a Mr. and a Mrs. Everything, they want everything to be neutered. And the sale of those 6 Dr. Seuss books will cease over racist and insensitive imagery, according to the business that preserves and protects the author's legacy. The news came Tuesday on National Read Across America Day, when schools across the U.S. celebrate reading on Dr. Seuss's March 2nd birthday to commemorate the popular children's author who died in 1991. These books portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong, Dr. Seuss Enterprise told the Associated Press in a statement. And why would they say that? How does it harm you about it? Have you read Dr. Seuss books lately? And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street by Dr. Seuss. Ceasing sales of these books is only part of our commitment and our broader plan to ensure Dr. Seuss Enterprise catalog represents and supports all communities and families, according to the statement. The decision to cease publication and sales of the books was made last year after months of discussion. Dr. Seuss Enterprises listened and took feedback from our audience, including teachers, academics, and specialists in the field as part of our review process. We then worked with a panel of experts, including educators, to review our catalog of titles, and so they have decided that some of those just don't fit their agenda. So they're canceling part of it. I wonder how long before they decide there's chapters and verses in the Bible that need to be canceled. And the folks who publish Bibles will bow to that pressure and say, oh, we better leave that part out of the Bible because that might offend somebody. Well, it might. It probably should. All right, folks, that does it for me. I've had a great full morning, and I thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for staying tuned with us. We're so happy to be able to serve the foothills of western North Carolina. Make room here just a few moments for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Meanwhile, let me take a little break here and wet my whistle. I'll be back about 9:05.
As well, there are concerns that the dominance of the App Store is hurting competition, ultimately driving up prices for consumers. Apple, in response, says the App Store is a great business opportunity for developers. This is ABC News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
Hello and happy Thursday. We'll see a beautiful afternoon today. Plenty of sunshine. It'll be rather warm and also breezy at times. Highs today in the mid to upper 60s and close to 70. Clear sky, chilly tonight thanks to a cold front. We start back in the low to mid 30s Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see a mostly sunny sky, cooler temperatures with highs in the mid 50s. And we'll see the sunshine with cooler temperatures continue through the weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Well, top of the day to you, Butch.
It's great to see you, Jim. You know, I'm always remarking about your sweaters. I need to tell you something really funny. You know, I crossed over the bridge, political bridge, and became a Republican, much to the chagrin of many people. And I had an email a couple of days ago from an old Democratic associate who sent me a note that started with, "You are a miserable disappointment." That's the way it started. In my great America, you're a miserable disappointment. It gets better. He said, "I listened to one of your broadcasts, and the only thing that you said that was on the mark and relevant is that you liked Jim's sweater." And I thought to myself, it's a great opportunity, my great America, to ask Jesus, has your grace worked in my heart? Because we're called to love everybody. There's a scripture that actually says, do good to those who despitefully use you. And, you know, my pastor often says over at Word of Faith Fellowship that the greatest barometer to determine what's happening in our hearts is to every day ask the question, am I bringing God's light and love to everyone? God's love is not selective. You can be pretty sure you've made God in your own image if the God that you love and worship hates all the same people you do. You know, we got to be very... Now, speaking of that, Jim, I want to tell you something I love. I love so much a small town like this. Yes. And, you know, I go out, I'm kind of a missionary to the community, and I have the opportunity to interact with a lot of children. It says in Scripture that God places the solitary in families. And I have a big family, and I have people that love me, but, you know, anybody who's gone through a divorce knows that it really affects, a lot of times, family relationships. So I have a couple of grandchildren I've not seen. But God has blessed me with so many children at our church. I'm Uncle Butch to a lot of children. And so I went over the other day to the Rutherford Fire Department and told them about the children that I sit with. And it was so sweet, Jim. They made me little gift bags with coloring books and the like. But there was one item that I pulled out just for you. And I don't know if people can see it, but it's a little fire hydrant. But when you squeeze it, the eyes come out. The eyes come out here. And, Jim, when you're talking about what's going on with the Biden administration, this is what you remind me of. So what I also did is I've got a little, anytime you find yourself just stepping over, those eyes when you squeeze it pop out. And that's what I sometimes I just get a little concerned. But I wanted to let you know, if you have a day, because you get here when, at 4:30 in the morning?
5:30.
5:30? If you have a day where you're finding yourself just really stepping close to the precipice, You're coming to the edge. You know your blood pressure's not where it needs to be. This is a special emergency gift bag. Okay, so you just tuck that away, and it's got some treats. That's only for a real emergency, though. Okay,
that might be in the morning.
Well, it might be in the morning. It might be in the morning. Of course, this is My Great America with Jim and Butch, and I've still been reflecting, especially since I got the news that somebody that was an important mentor in my life when I went to Wheaton College, an evangelist named Luis Palau, is now in hospice, and he was often called the Billy Graham of Latin America, and I had the opportunity to meet him on many occasions, and the Luis Palau Evangelistic Association was a client of my company's. I'll never forget at Wheaton College one time, he said to me, Butch, are you going to, I was sitting with a small group of Christian leaders there at the campus. He said, are you going to give your life to Jesus? I mean, in terms of service, vocational service. And I said, well, I'm not sure. He said, well, you need to ask yourself this question. Are you planning to go but willing to stay, or are you willing to go but planning to stay? And I never forgot that. And as he's now on death's door, a powerful, poignant question, decades and decades later, still is with me. Are you willing to go but planning to stay, or are you planning to go but willing to stay? God has called us to be, Jim, courageous. We're called to be courageous people, aren't we?
I like that. I like that phrase. I'll try to remember that.
Yeah. We're called to be courageous. And you know what? We're not to be like Joshua. We're not to, in the early days, we're not to be someone who's timid and tentative. That is not the spirit of the living God. And, this morning, as most mornings, all mornings in recent years, I was getting into God's Word. And so here's our landmark scripture for the morning. It's from Psalm 27, and it's titled A Psalm of Fearless Trust in God. And, of course, David just lived in the middle of literally arrows going everywhere and people chasing him and family members that wanted to kill him and the like. But this is what he said. And for any of you that are dealing with a lack of fear, dealing with fear, a lack of courage this morning, listen to this psalm. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is my refuge and fortress in my life. Whom shall I dread? When the wicked came against me to eat up my flesh, my adversaries and my enemies, Jim, they stumbled and they fell. Though an army encamp against me, my heart will not fear. Though war rise against me, even in this I am confident. One thing I have asked of the Lord, and that I will seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord, in his presence all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty, the delightful loveliness, and majestic grandeur of the Lord, and to meditate in his temple. For in the day of trouble he will hide me in his shelter. In the secret place of his tent he will hide me. He will lift me up on a rock. And now my head will be lifted up above my enemies around me. In his tent I will offer sacrifices with shouts of joy. I will sing, yes, I will sing praises to the Lord. For anyone who says the Bible's a boring book and has nothing to offer, take what I just read to heart. God's word will change your life.
A lot of encouraging words out of Psalms. A lot of encouraging words. That's matter of fact, some folks read Psalms every day because of that uplift they could get from it.
Right. And God is very practical. We speak of it often in our church. God cares about every detail of our life. He cares about every detail of our country. He cares about what's happening in the details of your life. But we know that fear is the devil's tool to paralyze a nation, to paralyze a family, to paralyze a person. And that's why God has told us that he's not given us a spirit of fear. So if he hasn't given us a spirit of fear, where did it come from? Where did it come from?
It had to come from Satan.
Right, it came from Satan. And Satan and the living God, there's a cosmic battle daily for your soul. And you got to take hold of your will, and you got to be courageous in the midst of it all. The Harvard Medical School just came out with a report, Jim, that was so interesting. It said that fear weakens our immune system. It causes all sorts of cardiovascular damage, gastrointestinal problems such as ulcers and irritable bowel syndrome, decreased fertility. Anxiety disorders in the United States are just skyrocketing. Almost 20% of the people in the country today claim to have daily anxiety. It's one of the reasons why the pharmaceutical industries have been growing so much, because we are a prescribed nation, a prescription nation to deal with the fear. And suicides are up 30% in the last 20 years. It's now the 10th leading cause of death in the United States, including what's been tragic, Jim, is we've had a number of high visibility megachurch pastors and contemporary Christian musicians who've had children that have committed suicide. It's just been terrible.
Sad to hear that.
You've seen through the years just the impact of what can happen when somebody loses hope and decides to take their life.
And sometimes the ones that you most likely would never think would happen gets caught up in that, and they end up killing themselves. And you wonder why, because they didn't. The public persona they put forward was unlike anything that they were going through in their hearts and minds, and that took hold of them and ended up killing themselves.
Right, and I mean, you even look at, I mean, it happens across the board in so many different settings. It's political figures, it's been people that have been involved in ministry, music. So many have died there. You know, it's been people that you would just not expect. It's been people in the fashion industry. If you ask most women, ask your wife what a Kate Spade purse is. You know, it's well-known brand, iconic brand now. You know, at age, I think 55, 56, she killed herself a couple of years ago. You know, and so people, Satan wants us as a people to lose hope, Jim, to lose courage. And we just refuse to do that. You know, I was going through the bin store. And by the way, just real quickly, there was a sound as I came in, I think, across the county. You know what the sound was?
What was the sound?
I think the sound of parents responding to that headline. Tell people what the headline is.
Elementary schools will reopen March 22nd.
Yeah, do you think we heard a sound of we're grateful. We're so grateful. You know, I thought to myself, there got to be a lot of homes where people are excited.
Don't you know it?
That's going to happen. And, you know, their children, they're concerned, have been left behind in many ways.
So they're happy about that, and I think the parents and teachers and students are happy about that, because we like to take vacations from schools as students and like to take 2 or 3 days off, but spending a whole semester looking at a Zoom camera is just not. It depresses people.
It's just not the same. And you know, I loved going to school. I was one of those strange birds, I guess. I loved going to school. By the way, this is just a little aside. I had a cigar box with all of my school items in it. They gave us like a cigar box, and I had my fat pencils in there, and I had my rubber eraser, and I had my protractor, and it was all in there. I could not wait to get to school with my cigar. I was wanted, and I kept my desk really clean, and for some reason, God put that in me when I was young. I couldn't wait for homework.
Yeah?
Yeah, I couldn't wait for homework, and I would do more, and I was always asking the teacher, could I do extra credit? And one teacher finally said, don't ask anymore. You've done all the extra credit that you can do. But you know, Jim, I feel sometimes people, when we lose sight of our history as a country, we're really in trouble. And I help out at a bin store called Everything Must Go in Gaffney, which is your hometown. And when I went through the bin store there recently, I found a flag, and the flag is it's the St. George's Cross, which is like the flag for all of England. And metaphorically, I looked at that flag, and then hold that for a second, and then I looked at the flag of the United States that you had out in the lobby. This is what the odds were like during the Revolutionary War. Oh, right here. And right around the corner at the Battle of Cowpens, which military strategists, we can set that over there. I'm going to donate that to WCAB for all of the English guests that you have on early in the morning. But you know, you look at this flag means more than just a flag. This flag means that there were people of courage, in the spirit of what we read in the Psalms this morning, people of courage who said freedom is worth dying for. And right there at the Battle of Cowpens, right at the border, right over the border in South Carolina, was one of the most brilliant, God-inspired battles ever. And if you don't know what took place, Google it, the Battle of Cowpens. Basically what happened is the British were lured into believing that the front line of what the colonists had, which were the militiamen, they had rifles that were straight and true, but they could not reload very quickly. They thought that was all that they were going to encounter, but there were 3 lines that the colonists had, and at some point, the leadership, the colonel, directed them to retreat as if they were all retreating. and they got lured right into the best of what the burgeoning United States had to offer, and there were somewhere between 700 and 800 casualties the British had, and I think between 60 and 80 that the United States had. It was a brilliant battle. God gave that strategy. And so the Battle of Cowpens right here in our backyard. And when you go back and you read our history, I was doing this again. I do it often because I want us to keep remembering, Jim, what we've come from and the responsibility we have today here in Rutherford County to keep charging up the hill. You know, Patrick Henry once said, "It cannot be emphasized too clearly and too often that this nation was founded not by religionists, but by Christians, not on religion, but on the gospel of Jesus Christ." That's pretty clear, isn't it?
It's clear, yeah.
How about this? John Hancock, we know that name. "Principally and first of all, I give and recommend my soul into the hands of God that gave it, and my body I commend to the earth, nothing doubting but at the general resurrection I shall receive the same again by the mercy and power of Almighty God." That's pretty clear, isn't it?
It is clear.
How about this? John Jay, the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. "Providence has given to our people the choice of the rulers, and it is a duty as well as the privilege and interest of our Christian nation to select and prefer Christians for their rulers."
Wait a minute, you're saying we have a Christian nation?
John Jay, first Supreme Court, Christian nation, and he goes on to say it's better to pick Christian leaders. That would be pretty controversial.
Well, I tell you.
Well, yeah. What would that do? What would that do to our friend, New York Democratic Congressman Jerry Nadler, who asserted here recently, God's will is no concern to this Congress?
Absolutely. Yep.
Could you believe he said that?
Well, considering who said it, yes, but
all of the scriptures that talk about God in heaven looking down on his people, I can tell you exactly what God's perspective was on Congressman Nadler's comment. I mean, that is just off the charts.
And you'd think you'd have a little more insight into the heart of it. But here again, when they say the leaders have said, and a former president said, this is not a Christian nation, we don't live in a Christian nation, it's not surprising that someone like Nadler would say that has no concern of us.
Well, and you know what? It's like we'll make up morality as we go. Yeah. We'll make up ethics as we go. We'll make up the rules as we go. Listen to this. Henry Knox was a Revolutionary War general, to the supreme head of the universe, to that great and tremendous Jehovah, who created the universal frame of nature, worlds, and systems in number infinite. To this awfully sublime being do I resign my spirit with unlimited confidence of his mercy and his protection. That's why the small ragtag army against that considerable armada of the British won, because there were generals and there were leaders and there were colonists who knew that their hope was built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. They didn't dare trust any name, but wholly lean on Jesus' name. And long before Onward Christian Soldiers was written, Jim, they were those Christian soldiers that knew that they were going to forge in the fire of the fight the freedoms that we now enjoy today.
They had a fire in their soul. They had fire in their soul to do it.
Right. And we just need to make sure we've got God's fire and not our self-inflicted fire, because he gives us the strength for any battle he's called us into. Here's one more. This is Charles Carroll. He was a signer of the Declaration of Independence. Jim, without morals, a republic cannot subsist any length of time. They therefore, who are decrying the Christian religion, whose morality is so sublime and pure, are undermining the solid foundation of morals. It's the best security for the duration of a free government. That was a signer of the Declaration of Independence. So for every one of my former associates who send me nasty emails now, trying to tempt me into an argument that I'm not going to get into, because I've learned many things at my church, and one is you don't answer a fool to their folly, because you become like them. I just smile and say, I love you. Just smile and say, and you know what happens, Jim? It exasperates them even more, and I don't do it for that purpose, but, you know, God's told us to love. We can know that we're Christians by our love. That's what Scripture says. You know, Rush Limbaugh, I've been thinking about this as I've picked up some of his broadcasts here recently. It's hard to believe he's gone.
Yes.
But it's going to be true for all of us. There's going to come a day where, you know, we may be mentioned, but mostly, you know, what happens is people just move on, which is why we've got to make sure we're sowing the seeds of love and truth each and every day. But I've been going back each day and trying to remember one little nugget of Rush Limbaugh. And here's a couple that he said that hit me. By government giveaway programs, individuals are often hurt far more than they're helped. The recipients of these programs become dependent on the government and their dignity is destroyed. Is it compassionate to enslave more and more people by making them a part of the government dependency cycle? I think compassion should be measured by how many people no longer need it. Helping people to become self-sufficient is much more compassionate than drugging them with a narcotic of welfare. Isn't that powerful?
Powerful.
These kinds of things, you know, C.S. Lewis once wrote that words once spoken are never retrieved. We know in Scripture the power of the words. James tells us that, the book of James. These kinds of truths are truths that will live on long after his passing. Here's another one that relates to, Jim, what you and I do every Tuesday and Thursday. The First Amendment doesn't give anybody the right to be heard. People don't have to listen to you. I thought that was really good. You know, and the great thing about radio, of course, which is still growing and a burgeoning kind of medium, a lot of millennials don't think that. They think radio is dead. It's not dead, is it?
It's not dead. I was reading an article. As a matter of fact, I printed it down, gave it to Tracy, and shared it with Clark Poole. This last year, radio made a tremendous amount of upsurge because people were listening to it. They were confined to home, and they were listening to radio. Radio has taken another shot up. Of course, Rush Limbaugh did a lot to bring radio back into reality again, and he often said, talent on loan from God. And some folks made fun of him because they thought he was being sacrilegious, but he meant that because his talent was on loan from God.
Right.
And there was a illustration showed when he died, he was handing that talent back over to God as though it's yours now.
We are only a steward of what God's given us, and like the parable of the talents, Jim, he's made it very, very clear that the gifts and abilities that he's given us, he's going to hold us responsible for, not for our own agenda, but for his kingdom work. That's why we need to inquire every single day, Jesus, what do you want me to do today? Now, we have doctors and lawyers and people with schedules and the like, but every single encounter that we have with anyone is an opportunity to be a torch bearer of God's eternal truth. And Jim, I take that very seriously. It's one of the things, and I know you do as well, it's one of the things that you and I do. I feel like when we come together, you and I grab the flint of radio, and we're striking the flint, trying to do what? Not build a fire for us or a fire for WCAB, but somehow encourage the fires of righteousness, of truth, of positive engagement in our community. Our community needs new, fresh wind in its sails.
Yeah, it really does.
You know, we cannot stay in the doldrums of depression. We just can't do that. And let's remember, God will give us creative ideas. He'll give us creative ways to bring his light and his love to the community. And I keep going back to how much God has given this nation and how creative he made so many of the business people. You know, I've had a couple of folks privately ask me, Butch, can you give us a couple more examples of companies that started here in the United States? So I have just a couple more as we close out today. Here's one that's interesting. Cigna. You know Cigna, 1792, originally formed in Pennsylvania in 1792 as the Insurance Company of North America. It was the first marine insurance company in the United States. Or how about this one? Dixon Ticonderoga, 1795. If you've ever had to fill out an exam with a number 2 pencil, Dixon Ticonderoga should be a familiar name. The graphite pencil company started out all the way back in 1795. Dixon Ticonderoga formed during a merger between the Joseph Dixon Crucible Company and Bryn Mawr Corporation and started making pencils in the 1830s. The company's headquarters were in Jersey City, Jersey for more than 100 years. Now it's in Lake Mary, Florida. Here's another one that relates to that. Crane and Company. In 1770, Stephen Crane took over Massachusetts' first paper mill, the Liberty Paper Mill, and in 1799, the company relocated the new mill to Dalton, Mass, and was taken over by Stephen's son, Zenas. Since then, the company has provided high-end, 100% cotton paper for both personal and business use, according to the company's website. Paul Revere used Crane paper and was even known to pasture his horse at the original Liberty Paper Mill. The Queen of England is a fan of Crane and Company stationery, using it for her 100th birthday celebration, according to her website. The company has also supplied paper to the U.S. Treasury to print money since 1879 and is still owned by the same family. And then finally, DuPont. When you think DuPont, you probably think of an innovative, modern company. In fact, DuPont was founded in Delaware in 1802. It was a Frenchman with expertise in making gunpowder. In 1804, DuPont built his first powder mill on the Brandywine River using bark from willow trees for charcoal to create black powder, according to the company's website. Since then, the company has made everything from dyes and sweater fibers to film. Today, it holds trademarks on everything from Corian countertops to Teflon and Kevlar. Those are companies from America. And you know what, folks? Ask yourselves a question. What God-birthed ideas in you? And in Rutherford County, let's be more than the sign that says small town friendly and e-commerce certified. Let's have new ideas that take us into the future, but never forgetting the foundation upon which all of it's been built. It's God's word. It's true. It's unshakable. It will change your life today.
God has, God is, and God's will bless America.
God bless America.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.